For the Centennial Cougars, starting is number 5, junior guard Kate Lee. For the Bengals, number 5, senior captain guard Caitlin Wozniak. For the Cougars, number 10, junior guard Caitlin Green. For the Bengals, number 15, junior forward Nancy Berry. And for the Cougars, number 24, senior forward Autumn McCall. For the Bengals, number 31, senior forward Captain Bella Brewstuen. And for the Cougars, number 25, junior forward Sydney Schmitz. Rounding out the starting 5 for the Blaine Bengals is number 33, senior guard Captain Mara Holly. And we're rounding out the starting lineup for the Centennial Cougars is number 33, senior guard Claire Pullman. Chris Brewstuen is the head coach of the Bengals, assisted by McKenna Pearson and Rick Swanson. Jamie Sobolik is at the helm of the Cougars program, assisted by Lauren Pearson and Mike Rolstad and Nate Anderson. Once again, in the spirit of mental illness, cheer with positivity tonight.
Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to tonight's matchup between the Blaine Bengals and the Centennial Cougars here at Centennial High School. I'm Blythe Whaley, and we're excited for this thrilling season of ladies hoops. Centennial coming into the game with some high hopes, led by the coach Jamie Sobolik, after getting his 100th win last time we aired the Cougars on North Metro TV. But Coach Brewstuen leading the way and the charge for the Bengals, as he has been a coach for so many years, since back in 2013. And we are underway. Bengals gonna have the first opportunity to attack. Cougars defending. See the quick dribble drive. Marley Jansen finding her way inside the lane and gonna head to the line for the first free throws of the night. Claire Pullman getting the first foul on the board as well. First shot, no good for Marley Jansen. Ultimately, gonna want to take care of business here at the free throw line, going through, trying to get things started, and is able to take care of the second one. Now the Cougars on offense, looking to get in the swing of things. Coach Jamie Sobolik telling me that it was tough to get in the offensive flow in their first loss and their only blemish on the season so far. So they're gonna wanna build that confidence early, start to find those open looks and capitalizing. That first loss was against Chaska. Said Chaska was a good team. A great test for them early on to sort some things out. Schmitz inside to McCall, high off the glass, off the mark, and the Bengals able to come away with the basketball. Bengals on the board first, just leading by that 1 point. It's 1-0 in the early goings as the Cougars looking to get on top. Nice pass inside. But better defense there by the Bengals, shutting it down. Kate Lee on the drive. But what the Bengals are doing right now is they're bringing the energy. Take a look at this. Finding her way through the lane and getting a chance at the line now. It's Natty Berry, the junior here for the Bengals. Looking to put some more points on the board and extend their lead. But I like the energy that the Bengals have come out with. They're on a 3-game win streak to start the season. First free throw, no good for Berry. And just up by the point until that, so now up by 2. Cougars nearly throwing it away, and they do. This touches the line. Bengals an opportunity to go up by more than just those lone 2 points on the board. And the Bengals are going to want to capitalize here on this potential slow start from the Cougars. How can they find their way to a bigger lead while the Cougars are trying to sort some things out? Finding her way through the lane, high off the glass, but off the mark. Marley Jansen has been taking those chances, and you have to. McCall finding the right wing. As the Cougars work this one around, Kate Lee tried to lay one up. Couldn't quite get there, not enough on it. And the Bengals coming the other way and in. Marley Jansen does find the hoop. Excuse me, Caitlin Wozniak. Caitlin Wozniak, a senior this season. We saw how well she has done for the Cougars over the Bengals, excuse me, over the years. But Bengals up 4-0. The Cougars yet to score, trying to get it inside to McCall. They know they want to get her going, as she is a big difference maker on this team, but still not able to find the hoop. Bengals in control, gonna work this one around to find that open shot. Taking it from downtown, Bella Brusuin, the senior, the coach's daughter. Adds it up 7-0 now. And forcing another turnover, the Bengals on the attack yet again. Good defense here by the Cougars, trying to make it difficult. That's Kaylin Green, the transfer from Coon Rapids. In the season opener, just had barely got the confirmation she'd be able to step out on the varsity court. Cougars did have the ball for just a moment, not quite able to convert in transition. Played it a little bit too fast, but they get the luck here on the charge. Mara Hawley gets charged with the personal. In her senior season, she's glad to be back after tearing her ACL last season. And the Bengals are happy to have her too. Foul here on the Bengals. Mara Hawley picks up her second. Her first, it looks like. I feel like he said second on the announce table, unless I misheard, but looks like first. McCall, she scored a couple threes in the opener. But the Cougars still struggling on the offense. Wozniak driving down short. And the Cougars gonna look to get up in transition. They are so good at this. McCall up to Schmitz and in. The first bucket on the board for the Cougars as we get going. Bengals up 7-2. Driving the lane, Natty Berry, it takes it to him, and she'll head back to the line. Now, if the Bengals can start to knock some of these down, they've been doing a great job drawing the foul. How can they let these free throws work for them? She finds it. First one is good.
Amelia Medico is on for the Cougars.
So you saw the substitution. Delmedico coming in here for Kate Lee. Inside to Pullman. Cougars looking to work it around. Shot from deep and in. Looks like Kaylin Green has the green light, helping the Cougars get closer. 9-5 Bengals up. They tried to make it more, but the rebound from McCall, who is on track to look to take the rebounds record here at Centennial. She is chalking up all that she can get to try to push her way closer. Talk about that later in the broadcast as this one goes down. Delmedico coming off the bench, able to put in the triple. Bengals, backdoor cut, and short off the rim. But a close game now. Cougars just trailing by 1. McCall trying to help the Cougars go ahead, couldn't. Again, she scored a couple threes. That was something she improved her game from last season. Already hitting a couple in the early parts of this year. Didn't have too many last season. Pullman swings it over. Delmedico feeds it inside. Green just about able to lay it in, bouncing off the rim, and the Bengals back at it on offense. Going to slow things down. Wozniak takes advantage of the defense. Watching, made her way through the lane, but not able to capitalize. McCall, no good. And will the Bengals run? No, they saw Wozniak flash, but not the sure thing. Keeping possession. It's what they want to do. Up by 1. They don't want to lose the lead. They've been in the lead throughout this matchup after going up by 1. Wozniak gets it inside. Natty Berry. Gets fouled again. Doing a good job hanging on to that basketball. And say that's on Kaylin Green. Natty Berry sinking another. Bengals up now 10-8. But the Bengals saying they're glad to have this test going up against the Cougars. This has always been a battle in that cat clash here on our airwaves. Looking to go inside, tipped off the Bengals. The last time the Bengals have been able to get the win was back in the 2019-2020 season. Able to win that one 92-86 on the Bengals home court. So they would like to get back to their winning ways against the Cougars, that's for sure. Cougars pushing ahead. McCall in transition, lays it up and gets the roll in. That's the type of basketball we're used to seeing the Cougars playing, that high speed, fast transition, using their athleticism to get up the court. But now, Cougars able to tie it up with this. They do, 11-11. Tie ball game again. Cougars have trailed throughout this matchup. Pulling the trigger from deep, Bella Brewstuin not quite able to make the go-ahead bucket. So they'll have to look to defend. Off the glass for the Cougars, not possible for them to make that go-ahead bucket. So still the search for the lead is on as this ball game continues back and forth. You see the double dribble. 10-16 left in this first half. A substitution. They let Natty Berry back out on the court. Bella Brewstwing gonna take a second on the bench. And it's her senior season. Talk to Coach Brewstwing, what that's like, and when that final year coaching his daughter. And he said he's grateful for the opportunity. Not everyone gets to coach their daughter. Not everyone wants to, and he has enjoyed that experience. Rebound here for McCall. She's chalking them up. Again, we'll continue to take a look at that rebound battle as she climbs the ladder to try to seal the deal for Centennial's record. Bengals working it around on offense. Wozniak in the lane and travel called. An unfortunate turnover here for the Bengals. Again, they don't want to let the Cougars build any momentum. They know that can really help them if they're able to get up to a lead early on. They had it. They've allowed the Cougars to climb back in, but they haven't allowed this game too much wiggle room. They've been able to get the ball back and create turnovers on the Cougars as well. But whistle blown. See that foul come up on the board. Natty Berry called for her first personal. But that's the team's sixth, so we'll be shooting 1-1 here on that next one. Ball into Green. Pushed out to Sears. Green helping keep possession. Kate Lee. Shot from deep, no good. Inside rebounds, and the Cougars have been quite good at second chance buckets as well. This one not falling for them, but they're normally in there grabbing the rebound, giving themselves another look. Bengals pulling short off the iron, and Cougars. Green looking to go in transition. Sure, Soblik likes the idea, just would have hoped to have kept possession. You see the tough defense, the grit. Kaylin Green trying to get between, force the turnover. But a travel there on Wozniak.
Cameron Miles comes in for the Bengals.
8 minutes left here in the first. We're still tied, 11 apiece. Something Coach Brewstwing told me before the game was he was wondering how his team was going to match up against this height. They hadn't really played against height so far. And it seems the Bengals have been able to figure that out here, defending McCall and keeping them off some of these boards. Cougars, another foul. We'll give Kate Lee her first foul of the evening. 16 fouls for both teams. Next time, either team will be shooting that 1-1. Still a lot of time on that clock too, so that will be something the teams will want to capitalize on if they make their way to the line. But how do you draw that foul? I think a lot of times teams can just think about taking advantage of it when it happens, but how do you force a team to foul you so you can head to the line, get some of those give me buckets. Cougars working around Kate Lee, tossing it up. No good. Barry with the rebound in the outlet. Still searching for who's going to go ahead. Long range shot. Airballed underneath, and still no one in the lead.
Ava Taylor comes on for the Cougars.
Coach Sobolik telling me that he's loving the team's attitude this season. They love playing together. This team has had great chemistry so far, but they're still looking for that identity at this point in the season. What type of basketball team are they going to be? Lee shooting from long, short. The hustle by Green keeps them with the basketball. You're seeing how hard both teams defending. And that shot clock does go. That ball didn't hit the rim. But the Bengals in possession before that mattered. Ball inside and good. The Bengals find it in the lane. That was Rosie Rakuski, the junior, putting in that last bunny underneath. Long range shot for Green, no good. And it sounds like a little bit of a similar storyline. Coach Sobolik saying they had trouble getting into the offensive flow last game, and Cougars are still in a little bit of a slum of that first, or a slug moment here in the early going. Slump, there was the word. I knew it. I knew we were going to get there. But the Bengals traveled on that last one. So another turnover. Cougars not able to make something happen. You hear the whistle go. Gonna be jogging back. Bengals up 13-11. But now we'll have the opportunity from the line to try to go up by some more here as we continue in this first half. 5:31 left in the game, and I think right now the biggest thing is how can the Cougars, if they're not going to be putting in some of the buckets that they would on offense, how do they keep this game close? Try to allow that offense to start to make its way in that second half if they're not able to do so beforehand. McCall from deep. Slightly long. You saw it go off the back of the iron. She hit those couple threes last game from the top of the key. This one taken from that bottom of the arc. An air ball, and the attempt from Wozniak to try to keep that ball alive, no good. 5:03, still a lot of time. Time's relative here in the first half. As the Bengals force a turnover on the Cougars. Natty Berry, dribble drive, stuffed. McCall stops her up anyway. Not quite the stuff she maybe would have wanted, but ball up again, just slightly long. A lot of shots here by the Cougars, just going off the backside of the iron. Wozniak quickly up the court and in. And you heard the timeout called. Looks like Cougars are taking it, and it makes sense. They're down by 4 right now, 15-11, and the Cougars want to make sure they stay right here in striking distance. They know they're capable of putting in a couple shots quick, and how can they keep this game alive? But I said 15-11. That was next shots are going to be 1-1, whichever team is fouling or is able to draw the foul to head to the line. But Kaylin Green has been helping lead the offense for the Cougars, the transfer from Coon Rapids. So junior, she still will have her senior season coming up next. But the Cougars so far 2-1 overall, 1-0 in conference play. The Bengals leading the conference 2-0 and 3-0 overall. McCall's averaging 13 points per game so far this season. Gonna need some more to get close to that average here tonight. Kaylin Green up and swirling around. Cougar is getting called for the block. Getting the body in the way. Looks like Ava Taylor, I believe the junior, going to be called for that last personal. But yeah, last season the Bengals having to fight back, having that adversity. Sadie Dominic and Mara Hawley both out last season with injuries. They've had to work through adversity. Some of the young talent got some more playing time. Coach was saying how helpful that was this season to have some of these young ladies more experience than maybe they would have been had that not been the case. But Mara Hawley only able to play 10 minutes in that Coon Rapids matchup they had this season, trying to work their way back up. Doctor's orders, gonna look to get 14 minutes today as she comes back from her ACL. Ball out of bounds on the far side. Kate Lee getting it into Green. Trying to work around. You're seeing the zone put on by the Bengals, but the Cougars timeout maybe helping them get this ball in. Sydney Schmitz finding the opening in that middle of the zone. Got to work that ball around to find the player open inside, and Cougars able to do it after that last timeout. 3 minutes, 18 seconds here left in the first half. 15-13, Bengals just up by 2, looking to make it more. The shot long by Brewstuen. But the Cougars up the court very quick, not able to convert that fast transition. And Bengals gonna take a timeout, trying to make this possession count here before the half. Gonna try to figure out how to work around this Cougar defense, put in another bucket or two here with the time remaining. But like I was talking about, Mara Hawley gonna look to play 14 minutes after it coming back from her injury. Of course, the team would like her to be able to play more, but they just don't want to risk not following those orders to stay at that easy transition, that smooth transition back to playing speed. Taking it from out of bounds, Rosie Rukuski. Getting it in to Cummings. Inside, Brewstuen high off the glass, and long. Didn't quite live up to, I'm sure, that play drawn up by Brewstuen at that timeout. Ball inside to McCall, able to dump it low to Kate Lee, and she finds the three-point play. We'll see her head to the line to try to convert on it, but she has a three-point play opportunity now. as she's able to sink the bucket while taking on the foul. This game's tied up, and this would be an interesting storyline because right now the Cougars have an opportunity to go ahead for the first time in this game. Ball up, no good, tied up 15 apiece. And the Bengals trying to get back on top. Couldn't quite do it. Wozniak stopped up underneath, but the fast transition denied. Cougars got the ball all the way up the court, but stepping in between, that's Mara Hawley, sending Kate Lee to the line. So that's Mara Hawley's second foul. So the Cougars on top for the first time tonight, 16-15. Just 2 minutes, 9 seconds left. Not able to capitalize on the second. They're just up by a single point. Bengals, the opportunity to get it back here. But we're glad you're joining us here on North Metro TV in our cat clash of ladies hoops. Jump ball. And it looks like Mara Hawley gonna take it in. On the baseline, send it into Brewstuen. Brewstuen off the mark, but a foul is called. Will say was offensive. So we're heading the other way. Again, we're in the bonus. So Natty Berry gets her second foul. Gonna send Kaylin Green to the line. 1-1 opportunity, sinks the first. Puts the Cougars up by 2, 17-15. And another offensive foul heading the other way. Bengals, the opportunity to claw back and tie this game up from the line.
Caitlin Peterson on for Centennial. 1-1 opportunity for Miles.
First one is good. As the Bengals clawing back in, just down by a point. Tying the game back up, 1:44. That was exactly what they would have wanted. Not this though, Cougars able to get back in the lead, 19-17 with that last splash. That would have been a big rebound for the Cougars, but it looks like they do get it anyways. Back and forth to the Bengals. They stuck it out underneath and able to put it through, tying it back up. A big one for Mara Hawley, helping save her team after almost giving it away. And a travel violation called. Looked like that was called on Schmitz. Unfortunate turnover there for the Cougars, giving this to the Bengals. 50 seconds on the clock. And a double dribble, a transition or a turnover here for the Bengals. Gonna allow the Cougars the ball back. 45 seconds on the clock. The next foul by either team is going to be the automatic 2. And Kate Lee stepped on the line. They're saying And now this gives it back to the Bengals. This is big time here late in this first half. Tied ball game. They get it in. Gonna work around the first defender. Sneaking her way through the lane. Stopped up by the Cougars. A much needed stop for them after giving the ball back. Shot clock. Not a question anymore. Just 23.5 seconds left. But who is going to be leading it here at halftime? That is the question. Cougars on the attack. 16 seconds. Ball tipped out of bounds. Cougar basketball still. Kate Lee gets it into Schmitz. Gets it over to Green, finding the inside. Tossing it back to Green, long, way off the mark, and Schmitz helping, second chance opportunity. Goes in and out in a tie ball game at half. I said we were waiting to see who was going to be leading, but they had other plans, making this a tie ball game at halftime, 19 apiece. We're glad you're joining us. There'll be more ladies hoops, our second half, coming up after the break.
Good evening. We will call the City Council meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Time is 6:30 p.m. I'm calling to order the City of Centerville Council meeting.
Welcome everybody. Welcome to the City of Circle Pines, Minnesota regular City Council meeting.
Take your City Council anywhere.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ham Lake City Council meeting.
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. Roll call, Bill.
Lake Park City Council meetings not called to order.
Subscribe to your city podcast on your favorite podcast platform.
Welcome back here at Centennial High School in our cat clash between the Bengals and the Cougars. I'm Blythe Whaley here for the second half, and we have a tied ball game, 19-19. A lot different than the last time these two teams matched up last season. Both of these teams looking to come away with a win. The Bengals haven't done so since the 2019-2020 season. So it's been a long time coming. They're looking to have things go their way, and they force the turnover. Wozniak in transition, stopped up. McCall putting up a stat, getting the block. And Centennial the chance to go ahead. Cougars only went ahead for just a moment there at the end of the first half. They still continue to fight to try to find offensive looks. McCall off the mark, trying to get it from deep. She was able to hit those couple threes in the first matchup we saw here on North Metro TV in the season opener against Spring Lake Park. Long range off the front of the rim. And they're saying Cougar basketball. Pullman. And we putting it in. You're seeing that full court press now by the Bengals here in the second half. Didn't see much of that in the first. Schmitz putting it up and in the short range. Schmitz had 6 points, leading all scorers for the Cougars in the first half. Now puts up the first bucket here in the second. But Cougars up 21-19 and a chance to keep this lead going. But they'll have to defend. Bengals laying it up and in. Huge move here for Marley Jansen, the junior.
call the Schmitz for 2.
Schmitz puts it up to 23-21 now. Rebound, Schmitz. Pullman doesn't pull the trigger. Gets it knocked out of bounds. And it will stay Cougar basketball. Both teams getting into foul trouble there in the first half. Gonna want to keep that in check. Mara Hawley has 3. Certainly doesn't want to pick up another foul early on in the second half. Dumping it inside to McCall. McCall finds weak side and pushing it back in. That would have been a great offensive movement for the Cougars. Had that one went in. Bengals try to go quick. Doesn't work out for them. Cougars back on the attack, and Green lofting it up. No good. Bengal basketball and back on offense. Wozniak tries to lob it up. We're having some quick possessions. Both of these offenses not taking the time to work it around. McCall tried to play that ball around her back and lost it. Getting inside and finding the roll. Jansen putting it in yet again. Long range McCall having the toilet bowl, they call it sometimes, when that one swirls out. This will be Autumn McCall's 3rd foul of the evening. Possession back to the Bengals. Wozniak into Jansen. Tied up 23-23. Sure, Coach Bruce doing quite proud of his ladies, keeping this game close. Green launching it, knocking it off the backboard. No good, and Bengals back with the chance to get this lead back. Jansen, so silky smooth, driving the lane and getting the roll in off the glass. That one looked buttery smooth for sure. Pullman to the outside, Green trying to get it back to McCall, but the quick read by Wozniak, too hard off the glass, doesn't allow the Bengals to convert, but they will head to the line with a chance. Yeah, tough break there for Wozniak. Getting it up in transition, not able to convert, but the second chance opportunity the Bengals have now from the line. Missed the first. Peterson checking in here for Centennial. And the second one good at the line. Rosie Rakuski putting in another free throw. Pullman gets fouled. And we're starting to see these fouls tick back onto the board. First foul, though. First of the second half. It's her 3rd. An unfortunate 3rd. You just saw how well she's been doing, putting it in for the Bengals, who are now up by 3. Wozniak with the quick finger is able to tip this one up to gain possession back. We've seen her do that a lot here for Blaine. Here on North Metro TV. Naughty Berry, no good underneath. You saw the good defense the Cougars able to play. Some good post defense. They got the height. Wozniak in transition, can't finish the lay-in again. And you think about if those couple lay-ins would have went in, what this score would have been. The Green called for the travel.
Traveling called on the Cougars.
Another
Abby Matthews
turnover
on for
here, and back to the Bengals it goes.
Brianna Cummings in for the Bengals.
Quick shot. No good for Jansen. Bengals up by 3 still. Looking for more. Last year, this team matched up twice. Final score, 74-53 Cougars getting the victory, but that halftime score, 27-44 in the first time they matched up. Quite a difference from our 1919 halftime score today. Shot sent from long, no good. And the second matchup they had of the season in February last year, it was 31-18 at halftime. Cougars winning 71-50, but again, you saw that spread at halftime that was already showing and telling what was to come later on in that game. Today, a 19-19 halftime score.
Mara Holly for the Bengals.
But 7 players on the Bengals able to put the basketball in, adding to that total 26 points. Down low, it gets dumped in. Kaylin Peterson, the senior center, putting it down. Now Cougars just trailing by 1. The Bengals having to work around this zone that the Cougars are putting on, trying to find those quick passes, that ball movement to open up. But a good cut, couldn't get the handle on it. Mara Hawley down, but Barry able to give it another go. Not quite. Centennial now a chance to try to take the lead. Pullman double teamed. Again, you're seeing that zone pressure. Both teams putting it on. Green gonna cut through, sent it back out, and they call the charge as Green came in. So second foul. So her second foul, team's third.
Caitlin Wozniak comes on for the Bengals.
Jansen gets it up top. She'll get it back. Dumping it inside to Holly. Holly double teamed and stopped up. Peterson just making a wall, making it challenging. For anything to come of that last possession for the Bengals. Still in the zone. That trapping zone. Good ball movement here for the Cougars. Giving themselves a chance. Peterson, you saw the shot fake. And a silky 3 from Green. Much needed for the Cougars as they soar back in the lead. 28-26 now. Such a tight ball game in our Cat Clash here on North Metro TV. 9, I believe, 55 left here in the second, and both these teams, they're bringing it. Offense a little bit tough for both of these teams, not quite able to work around the zone pressure. But for both teams, it's a good thing to have to overcome here early on in the season, see what your team needs to work on. Because this stuff is the things teams will pull out, especially late in the season, trying to stop teams up that maybe hadn't worked on this as much earlier on in the regular season. Ball sent up. No good for the Bengals. Cougars on offense. Going to start with Pullman. Getting it inside to Peterson. Again, you're seeing that 1-3-1. It looks like zone. Trapping and stopping up the Cougars. Another possession lost for them. They give it back, Bengals. Going against what looks like a more traditional 2-3 zone.
Miles comes on for the Bengals.
Mara Hawley gonna take a break there on the bench. Jansen. Shot from deep, no good. Able to keep possession here on the attack. Jansen gonna start it up, swinging it to the right, trying to fight through the middle. They stay with it, and they will call the jump ball. It's tough to break it inside, especially with the bobbled pass. Doesn't allow the quick ball movements like they would have wanted to get it inside and right back out. I think referee's debating. But our referees at the scores table are seeing Aaron Nordling, as well as Quincy Starks and Keisha Pringle out there as our 3 refs, helping keep this game in check and making it happen. 8:57 left in the second, and the shot clock was the more important detail. You're hearing the shot clock go off. I think referee's going over to sort that out. Looks like might not have been set right. They put 5 up there on the shot clock, but still something to be aware of. Ball inside. As they swing it across. Bruce to win. Has it tipped. Not able to get it to the hoop in time for that clock. The violation happens. And that's something we didn't always have here in high school basketball, that shot clock. A relatively new thing here for the high school level. Ball long, Bengals. Able to work together to get this ball back and into the attack. Bruce to win. With the quick trigger, no good. 28-26 Centennial. And I'd like to see both of these teams maybe take an extra second in the set. Swing it around instead of launching as quick as they have. Make this offensive set count, find that opening. So they're able to wear down the defenses, especially swinging it fast against the zone. Peterson sends it up. Cougars nearly able to keep the possession, but Wozniak right there to take it from them. In transition and out off of the Cougars, it will stay Bengal basketball. It's still quite early in the season for both these teams. Just the 4th game. Trying to build some momentum early on. Sort some things out. Getting this competition, getting the roll in. It's Jansen. She's been able to find her way and weave her way through that lane. Definitely helping her team tonight, rolling some of those in. Quick transition, Wozniak always so good at getting up the floor. This time able to put it through the hoop for the lead, 30-28. Bengals back on top. The zone continues. Natty Berry Trying to play tight D. Does get called with the personal.
Number 15, Natty Berry, her third. Team second.
This one's tipped off. It'll stay here. McCall just held to 3 points there in the first half. She's looking for more, that's for sure. Her average 13 a game. Cougars have it back, giving it to McCall. Trying to go quick, no good. Bengals get fouled. Cougars' fourth team foul.
Foul number 22, Amelia Delmenico, her first, team fourth.
Bengals able to get it in. Wozniak fighting around Kate Lee. Able to get it up, but not through. Natty Berry fighting hard under the hoop, grabs the rebound and draws the foul as she goes back up. So she'll head to the line. She's had some free throw chances throughout tonight. And able to sink the first, extending this lead now 31-28. Second one off the mark. But a 3-point game, Cougars. Still got plenty of time, 6 minutes, 16 seconds. This game has been back and forth. Looks like underneath a foul. Sydney Schmitz was on the floor. We'll see
Foul number 15, Natty Berry, her
who
fourth.
gets called. It is Natty Berry. She was able to draw the foul and then commits a foul herself on the other end. And no luck here for McCall. She puts up another underneath and nothing dropping. A lot of times you think of basketball, it is the flow. You think of music, same thing. You're trying to find that flow. But right now, what the Cougars have struggled in that loss earlier on this season was trying to get in that offensive flow, is what Coach Sobolik said. And right now we're seeing some of that for the Cougars. They're trying to find the flow. Tough to make it happen around a zone, especially early in the season. Not everyone is used to how their teammates are going to be playing. But really that quick movement, we'll see what Coach Sobolik draws up here to help his team try to work around that zone here in this last part of the ball game. But what I think is interesting is the storyline of how close this game is. Again, this Bengal team has not been able to overcome the Cougars since the 1920 season. So I know they're putting themselves in position to try to make that happen tonight. I know regardless, Coach Bruce Dewin will be proud of how close this team has played and how much effort they put there on the court. Stopping up the Cougars, holding McCall from her average. Wozniak gives it up. And inside, it's Mara Hawley putting through the lay-in. 33-28, 5-point ball game. Can they use the momentum? Stopped up very quickly. Sydney Schmitz getting the lay-in. 3-point game. Bengals still in control. But what an answer. Sydney Schmitz wasting no time to make sure the Cougars don't allow the floodgates to open. Seeing a lot of movement, a lot of cutters, but Mara Hawley really trying to fire from deep, no good. And I think that possession they might want back. It was something where maybe they should have worked it around a little bit. Again, knowing going up by 2 possessions could help a lot. They played tight defense until that foul gets called. Just about made their way out. But the Cougars stay here with that last foul. Team's 4th. Rosie Rakuski gets called for that personal. It's just her first of the night. Cougars trying to put it up. McCall again having a tough night. It's tough. You have to have some of those long-range shots, trying to open up some of those players underneath when a zone is happening like it is. But also that quick ball movement, trying to free up that inside. Cougars trailing by 3, Green. Trying to dribble some space. McCall looking to find some of her own inside the lane. She gets the roll in this time. A much needed bucket here for Autumn McCall, the senior. Sure, a frustrating game. McCall needed that mentally, but they allow the Bengals to find their way underneath. Rosie Rakuski converting on that last lay-in, 35-32. And the foul on the Bengals will send Green to the line. So Wozniak commits her first foul of the day. But her team's 5th. Green, no good on the first. Still one more chance at the line. And no good, both free throws unable to help the Cougars get any closer. Still down by 3, Bengals. Wozniak, drive and kick. Over to Rakuski. Bengals working their way inside, closer and closer. Jansen. Referee's gonna see if they agree on this last call. They will call the foul. Some fans asking for the double dribble. But they will call the foul, count the bucket. 37-32, quite the swing. This 3-point play opportunity, no good from the free throw line. But what a difference this could make, 37-32. And the Bengals in transition, gets it knocked out of play. But 3 minutes, 2 seconds left in the game. Bengals up by 5. And a tough call here, referees having to catch this live. Mara Hawley denied by Autumn McCall. The Cougars needed that as they trail by 5, trying to come back with under 3 to go. Green faking right, goes left, and draws the foul. 6th team foul. So not quite 1-1, but the next one will be for both teams. Both teams sitting at 6 here in the second half. Kate Lee getting it in. Swinging it to McCall, finding all the way the other side. Green. McCall now 1v1. Trying to step through, no good. The second chance from Schmitz, also no good. Fight underneath, double team McCall. Will head to the line. She'll shoot 2. And that's what the Cougars needed. Stop the clock. Try to get some of these points back with some time. The senior putting in the much needed free throw. Doesn't scoop up the second. So Cougars trail by 4. Naughty Berry trying to find her outlet on the wing. Couldn't do so, and now the quick movement by the Cougars in transition. That is Cougar basketball. That is what we've known from them throughout the years. Ava Taylor able to put it through and make this game just a 1-score game. Wozniak, hard off the glass, not quite. Still with it. This one goes long, and a huge rebound for Autumn McCall. She is always underneath the hoop, scooping up these rebounds, but that one is a massive one with just a minute 32. Another foul called, and the Cougars able to gain some opportunities from the line late. And this has been big, especially this foul trouble. Because Kate Lee makes it just a 1-point game from the line. Kate Lee, the junior. Chance to tie, and she does. 37 apiece. This game remains so tight. The perfect cat clash here on North Metro TV as far as intensity, the back and forth. Both these teams maybe not playing the best offensive game they could, but they are keeping it within grasp. Both teams finding the opportunities. Minute 18, and it's gonna come down to the wire. Green starting it off, getting it over to Ava Taylor. McCall swinging it back to Green. The movement to get Schmitz open. Long range, no good. Pullman, a needed rebound. Finding Green on the other side. The ball movement was exactly what the Cougars needed to open up that weak side. Green able to get the Cougars up by 2, 39-37. And you can hear the fans getting even more into it. Even the Bengals on the bench trying to help the Bengals get back into the lead. At least tying it up is Wozniak. 39-39. 25 to go. Pulling the long range, no good. Bengals trying to capture that rebound. It does go off the Cougars, so Bengals will have the chance to bring it up. 20.1 on the clock, and a timeout called. Definitely a needed one, trying to draw up what they are going to do with the remaining seconds on this clock. A big rivalry win for either team. Again, Bengals trying to clinch a victory against the Cougars. Haven't done so since the 2019-2020 season. But the Cougars trying to keep up in the conference, don't want to miss on a chance to gain another conference win. Just 1-0 in conference, 2-1 overall. Bengals take a timeout of their own now. Still tied 39-39, of course, but Bengals 2 wins on the conference, 3-0 overall. That next game for both of these teams, we'll start with the Bengals. Bengals taking on Anoka on Tuesday. They're going to be on the road at Anoka and then back at home on the 12th, there Thursday, taking on Andover. So that's their week next week. Centennial Cougars have had their first couple home games already in the books, but they'll be on the road for the next 5 games. So they're trying to embrace the home court until taking on Elk River, Delano, Andover, Forest Lake, and then Egan. But the ones that are coming up next week, Elk River and Delano, Wednesday and Friday. But coming back out of the timeout, Coach Bruce doing, I'm sure, trying to make this possession count, solidify that win that hasn't happened since the 2019-2020 season. Let's see what they got. Bengals bringing it up, Jansen. Jansen has Wozniak open. She swings it to her. 5 seconds to go. This one's ticking down. Will they be able to take care of it? No, Pullman has it. And this one isn't going to finish the way we thought it might. No one able to take that final shot. Pullman, a massive tip to gain possession. And wow, folks, this again is something that both of these teams weren't probably expecting heading into it, how close exactly this matchup was going to be. 39-39. And you think about those scores earlier on. As far as the last couple times these two teams have matched up, just a lot bigger spread. 71-50 in that last matchup these two teams had back on February 1st. A very low-scoring game, and I think a lot to do with that was the zone defenses both of these teams put on each other. You see the limited time on the clock. Trying to finish it up here in regulation, 1.9. Pullman taking it from the sideline. Pullman trying to find an open. McCall from range, just barely. This one touches that front rim and no good. Overtime here at Centennial High School. And we will be back for more coverage of ladies hoops as we head to overtime after the break. We're back here at Centennial High School for some overtime and ladies hoops. The cat clash for the Cougar Bengals is still going, 39 apiece. We enter into overtime. Wozniak passing it around the arc, gets it over finally to finding Jansen. Kick it back to Wozniak again. We're seeing a lot of zone coverage in this matchup. Mara Hawley stopped up underneath, but the Bengals still with it, bouncing off the glass. Couldn't get it to go. Foul called, and again, you remember the team fouls that have racked up here in the second half. 9 team fouls now for the Bengals. An unfortunate situation here, sending McCall to the line. 3 minutes, 28 seconds on the clock. We're in overtime. Now made her think about it as that one bounced off the back, but dropped through. Cougars in the lead by 1, 40-39 now with that last free throw, and sinks the second, gives her team the 2-point lead. Wozniak able to slip on through and gets the lay-in, tying it back up 41 apiece. Wozniak coming up huge in another big moment here for the Bengals. You saw Wozniak having some of those transition lay-ins, no good, and finding it when she needed to. Another foul called, sending McCall to the line. Definitely not a shooter you want to. She's been able to sink some of these free throws throughout the night. She just showed you she was ready to, but this first one, no good.
Brianna Cummings checks in for the Bengals.
McCall splashes the second through with a 1-point lead, 42-41 Centennial. Just up by a hair. You're hearing the Centennial bench trying to help the defense. Cutting through and short. McCall with another rebound. Getting it back inside. McCall turning it on late. She's finding it exactly the player the Bengals would not have wanted to start to gain some confidence here in overtime. Bengal timeout as they are now down by 3. Trying to calm the Bengals down, I'm sure, in this timeout, trying to make sure that they still settle in, still a decent amount of time. No need to panic. But as far as the Cougars trying to keep this momentum, you saw McCall get some free throws. You found her make a shot down low. Bengals needing a much needed answer. 2 minutes, 12 seconds. The Cougar defense is fierce. You're seeing them paw at every ball. And the referee is having different calls, trying to sort that one out. They will call the foul. It's like Pullman will be called for her third, sending the Bengals to the line. And the first one is good. Down by just 2 now. Gets the second to go as well. Bengals only trailing by 1. That was Brianna Cumming. Getting this ball forward, 1:35. Down by 1, swinging it over to Jansen. Jansen looking to cut through the middle, kicks back. Wozniak loses it. Saying off of Wozniak, they're giving it back to the Cougars. 1:19 with just a single-point lead. Pullman getting it in quick to Green. Bengals don't want to foul there. They will call the foul, exactly what they probably wouldn't want to do at this point. But they're hoping, especially if they were going to, I think they wouldn't have wanted to foul Autumn McCall. She's made some of hers. They do have her miss to their fortune, but she has made some here late. Maybe would have wanted to foul someone else. She sinks the second, putting them up by 2. But ball back in the hands of the Bengals. Wozniak gonna be fouled. She'll head to the line to try to earn it. And such a great situation early on in the season, both these teams dealing with the pressure. You're missing the first opportunity to grab one of them. Not able to grab the second. McCall with the body grabs that rebound and helps the Cougars roll in another one. Sydney Schmitz making it 47-43. The Bengals look to draw the foul. They do so. They'll head to the line. This is, looks like Cameron Miles, junior, heading to the line. Down by 4. 44.9 on the clock. Bengals get the first one to roll in. And the second as well. Miles going 2 for 2 from the line. Ball in to McCall, giving it back to Pullman. Trying to allow Pullman to get up the court, but Jansen making it difficult. They call the timeout to ensure they don't give it away at this point in the game. 35 seconds remaining here in OT. But a lot on the line for the Bengals, trying to clinch that win. But the Cougars trying to uphold a trend that's held for the last how many years? as far as what last year's matchups looked like on paper. They wouldn't be expecting this overtime in this close, low-scoring game that the Bengals have held them to. But a lot of players stepping up. Bengals able to have Mara Hawley back after her ACL surgery. Pullman's going to be taking it from the sideline. Again, 35 seconds on the clock here. Able to find McCall. McCall's driving the baseline. Put it up, no good. Wozniak gripping the rebound. Jansen gonna start the offense. She'll get it back. On the wing, gonna drive herself, putting it up. Doesn't draw the foul this time. And the Cougars have it. 12 seconds to go. Autumn McCall kicking it to Kate Lee. They'll settle it down. Could see that maybe Kate Lee was gonna look for something more than just passing this one around to use this clock, but time expires, and a tough break here for the Bengals as they fall here to the Cougars. 47-45, Cougars seal the deal at home in overtime. What a tight cat clash we've had on our airwaves tonight. But we're glad you've been able to join us throughout this matchup. Definitely a fun start to the season we've had here in ladies hoops. And that does it here from Centennial High School. 47-45, the Cougars pull it out in overtime. On behalf of my awesome crew here at North Metro TV, Kenton Kipp in person with us tonight, as well as Alex Battles helping us bring this production to you. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll be back for more hoops throughout the season.